I have been touring the fusion band that I am with, Akasha. For the last 3 years took a new life, and we performed in several festivals around the world, which took us to places like South Africa, Korea, China, India, and the US, and so on. So that has been a very interesting part of my musical life and my professional life.
But at the same time, you have done classical work.
Yes, of course. My roots have been always classical. I have started with classical Indian background, specifically sitar, and that has continued, that has never stopped. And at the same time, I've done numerous concerts in the classical
Alone?
arena. Yes, last year I did a concert entitled KL.
Was that the first here?
First public concert in KL. First public concert. Although I performed solo concerts in places like Australia, in Singapore, in Penang, in the UK, in India. But for some reason, in the 10-12 years that I've been in KL and working professionally as a musician, I didn't get the opportunity to shape a concert, solo concert, and perform here in KL, in my own home place. So last year I actually put some effort into it, and of course with the assistance of Temple of Fine Arts, we actually got it running. So
You started actually your sitar very young.
at the age of 11.
Oh, that's normal for most people?
That depends. It's more than normal for a non-musician family. My family, my father was a lecturer in the university, and my mother was a school teacher in Penang. And although they were very interested in classical music and Indian music, we were a normal family. I'm not sure what normal is, but normal as in towards the academic line. We were in school, we were having various hobbies and so on.
And you played games and sports?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
So you picked up your instrument is the guitar, isn't it?
The original instrument, I was studying for a little while in the UK while my father was doing his PhD. And as you know, that music is a compulsory subject in school. And so we were doing various instruments in rotation. I learned a little bit of Western violin, Western singing, and then guitar. And I had an interest in guitar, so I thought I would stick with the guitar.
Acoustic guitar, electric?
Acoustic guitar, yes. But within the first 2 or 3 classes, it was apparent to me that the chemistry in the class wasn't working. The teacher seemed very fierce and very strict at that time, and I was very intimidated.
Yes.
Yes, and it seemed to me that he was picking on me all the time, at least at the age of 11.
He's going to listen to this.
Oh, I
You
don't
want
know
to
where
name
he is.
this?
I don't even know where he is. He's a Mr. Rogers or something. Yeah, his name was Mr. Rogers.
And so what happened?
And at that same point, a friend of mine, a school friend of mine, told me that the school is also offering sitar and tabla and harmonium. And the city council, the Leicester City Council at that point, this is 1983, had just started an initiative whereby they were including Indian classical music instruments into their syllabus in school, and they had brought down teachers from India. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go, and I switched from guitar to sitar.
Just like that?
Just like that. It was 3 weeks maybe into the lessons, so it was allowed, and we switched.
And you were 11?
I was 11, yes.
What happened? First love?
Well, no, not at all. It was an easy subject to learn because the teacher was very soft. And he was a young teacher, very, very pleasant teacher. He was a Punjabi gentleman by the name of Dharambir Singh. He had trained under a maestro, legend actually, in sitar. His name was, his teacher's name was Vilayat Khan. who is a contemporary of Pandit Ravi Shankar.
Yeah.
And so he had come, and he was obviously very talented and very skillful, but he was very raw at the art of teaching. So we used to have great fun in his classes because we used to bully him. The children just ran rampant in the class, and it was fun. Until about...
You ran rampant in class?
Oh yes, absolutely. I was not practicing at all, and it was fighting with the sitar and using the sitar as a bait and sense. So yeah, it was until about 12 weeks into the class, when we had an evaluation where the parents come to the school to meet with the teachers, and then when my parents met with my teacher, and my teacher said, "Oh, this boy is absolutely horrible. He's not going to last very long in sitar class, and I'm probably going to throw him out in 2 or 3 weeks." And then, of course, I went back home and got a shelling from my parents. But then it was internally as well. It was a wake-up call for me that hey, I actually enjoy this class and I enjoy this instrument. So why am I not putting any effort into it? And then I started practicing. And when that 3-week time frame was up, the teacher said, "Oh, I see some improvement now in 3 weeks. So we'll keep him on in the class." And from that point, I started gaining the interest and started attending classes more regularly and practicing. So the improvement was fairly constant. This raga, Madhuvanti, is the composition I played last night at the Flute Festival in Singapore with the classical western flautist Sonia Croucher and a tabla player, Vic Ramakrishna. The scale of the raga, Madhuvanti. In Malaysia, I think the context in which I serve is to bring to light the necessity of music in today's world. Many people still view music as a pastime, as a hobby, and as something casual. But I've grown to believe that music is a critical element in society. It's a critical element in what we do and how we find our balance, and the way in which we can seek comfort and to be who we are. There are several instances where, like for example, when 9/11 happened in New York, I read this article by a guy called Carl Polnick, who says when 9/11 happened, people didn't flock to the shopping malls, people didn't play games on the streets and so on. The first organized response that everyone participated in was singing. They sang hymns, they sang songs, they sang God Save America and so on the streets, and they went into the churches to sing. So it's obvious that the expression of music can do something which language cannot do. Music can do something which business or money or regular profession profession cannot give you. It provides that missing link in your life's balance. And so I feel that my role is to bring this out. Of course, my context is Indian music and specifically sitar, but I believe I belong to a larger picture, contribute to a larger picture where I need to make people aware that music, the learning of music or the participation in music or the appreciation of music is as important in life as sports is, as a diet is, as food is.
How are you going to do that?
I believe by all the various efforts that we are already doing, just in a more heightened way. It is by education, it is by teaching music, it is by exposing music to various strata of society. It is by educating music through, educating people through the various endeavors of music, be it fusion or classical or orchestral.
But you don't go to the village, you know. You are very urban based.
Exactly. Right now, we lack the platform, we lack the support mechanisms to take us to the rural areas where I believe people are in shortage of this sort of
And what
music.
would give you that?
I think we need help from corporates. I think we need help from the government. We need help from the rural industries and so on to get us there. We need to. Any effort always starts in an urban area, and so we have started this effort of the Chapel of Fine Arts here in KL, in Penang, and JB, and so on. Now we need to ensure that the mechanism here is running, is maintained, and it grows on its own, and then personally to detach from it and to start taking the work into other parts.
So you're ready to do that?
Oh, absolutely. It's always been a passion of mine.
So you're just looking for sponsorship?
I'm looking for avenues, I'm looking for ideas to share and trade off ideas and to formalize a concept to do this. With Akasha, there was a proposal where someone was giving us some mechanism to do, and we had discussed it in fair detail, to take a concert into the rural area, do the concert, inspire them, and then sign them up for classes, straight away. So that was a good initiative, but it hasn't taken off so far.
And you yourself would like to do it with the sitar?
Absolutely.